And now we've come to our Wingman story. And that's why we call our show The Wingmen Show, because we always like to highlight somebody who is taking care of somebody else. I think you'll really like this story. It starts off, a young brother named Malik. He used to joke that his only plan was to make it to the weekend. He was 19, drifting in a tough neighborhood, skipping school, messing with weed and pills, and running with a crew that treated petty crime like a game. Probation felt like a slap on the wrist, not a warning. But underneath the bravado, Malik could feel it. He was one bad night away from losing everything. So one night, he slipped into his apartment way past midnight. But his grandmother was waiting at the kitchen table. She had a plate of cold food. She didn't yell. She slid a folded newspaper across to him. And on the front, a story about a young man who had gone to prison, learned tech, and turned his life around. And then she pointed at that old beat-up laptop on the counter. She said, you know, when your great-granddaddy flew with the Tuskegee Airmen, he always used to tell me about his wingman. That was the guy who kept him alive when the sky got ugly. Now look, you don't fly airplanes, baby, but you still need a wingman. And see that thing right over there? She nodded at the laptop. That could be your wingman if you learn how to use it, right? Malik laughed it off. How could a slow laptop be a wingman? But later, stuck at home after a probation check, he got bored and he clicked on a little video about using AI to learn any skill. The guy on the screen talked to an AI assistant like a coach, asking it how to study, how to write a resume, how to change his life. Malik realized he had access to the same kind of tool sitting right there on his counter. And he wondered if this wingman thing his great-grandfather talked about, how could it look in this world? So he typed the question most people would never say out loud. He wrote, I'm 19, I'm black, I'm on probation, I have bad grades, no money, I've done drugs and dumb stuff. I don't want to go to jail. What can I do with my life? The AI didn't judge. It broke his situation into parts: school, work, habits, friends, health, and gave him options. Finish his GED, learn a trade like electrical or HVAC, look at tech programs and apprenticeships, take small steps every day instead of trying to fix everything at once. It was calm, clear, and specific, like an older cousin who'd seen some things but still believed in him. So Malik decided he would treat this AI like his digital wingman. Every morning he asked, what's my mission today? Together they built a simple flight plan, probation check-ins, GED study, one application or email a day, and 30 minutes learning a real skill instead of just scrolling around some nonsense. When math got hard, he said, hey, AI, explain this like I'm in the locker room, not a classroom. And you know what? The AI broke problems down. He would use sports and cars as examples and then quizzed them until he got it. At night, he'd type a quick report. Malik would say, today I showed up. Today I didn't use. Today I learned something. And his digital wingman kept track of the wins he would have ignored. The hardest part was his circle, his boys, because his boys kept calling, yo, man, we outside. You coming? Malik asked his AI, how do I deal with these dudes without sounding scared? It helped him practice the words, firm, respectful, and reminded him of what was at stake: his freedom, his grandma, his future. One night, when a friend wanted him to ride along for something light, something not very good, he heard his wingman's voice in his head. And it said, does this move you towards your mission or towards a mugshot? Malik stayed at home. Nobody clapped for him, no fireworks, just a quiet decision that kept him out of a police car that his friends were in that night. Weeks turned into months. The AI helped him find local training program for electrical work and even drafted the email to the instructor. Honest, not perfect. The email said, I've messed up, but I'm trying to turn my life around. I want a skill and a second chance. He got in. He started coming home tired from learning instead of running the streets. Even his probation officer saw the paperwork, the schedule, the effort. And his probation officer said, keep flying that course. His grandma just hugged him and whispered, your great-granddaddy would be proud. You finally found yourself a wingman. Eventually, Malik passed his GED and finished the program. He wasn't rich, He wasn't famous, but he had a trade, a plan, and a completely different flight path from the one he'd been on. When people asked him what changed, he didn't give them a long speech. He'd tap that old laptop and say, I got a wingman, just like my great-granddaddy had. But in my world, it doesn't fly the plane for me. It just keeps me honest and reminds me I was built for more than the bluff. And see, that's the point. Sometimes your wingman is a person. Sometimes it's a grandparent who refuses to give up on you. And sometimes in this new world, it's a tool you learn to use. A digital wingman that helps you find a mission, stay on course, and turn a life headed for a crash into one that actually has somewhere to go. Everybody out there, thank you so much for listening to The Wingmen Show. And anything you think is important, and anything you think is beautiful, and most importantly, whatever makes you happy, may you have that today and forever. I pray for peace, Dr. Paul.
I pray for peace through Commander Drew. It's good seeing you today, and we appreciate all those who listen, like, and share our message. Send this out to somebody that you know, somebody that you like, even someone that you don't like. Most of you are not subscribers. Please consider subscribing. It's more important than a like. If you subscribe, you'll get a notification when we put out a new episode. Thanks for your support.